Alrighty, welcome back to Daily Day Trades YouTube, where we go over the trades that we made today and why, and the things to look out for tomorrow. If you want to get these videos every day, then please subscribe to the channel. It also helps a lot if you were to drop a like on the video. If you would like to get these trades live via Discord, there is a link below in the description that will take you to this page. This is where you can sign up. It is a 7-day free trial before you pay anything. You're welcome to cancel during that free trial as well. First off, we have to talk about what happened last Friday, which also put us officially in a bear market, which means it's 20% from the all-time highs. This chart here pretty much sums it up. People were not a fan of the CPI data that was released, and it shows. We were expecting 8.3%, 8.4 would have been bad, but it ended up being 8.6, which is higher than it has been in about 40 years and the highest it's been since this recent run-up. So 8.5 was the March levels that were released in April, and then we went down a little bit when it was released in May. Then June ones came out and we were at 8.6, which kind of negated the fact that we went down for 1 month. That seems to be the outlier. Hopefully we can get that under control. We'll talk more about that in just a second because we have that Fed meeting coming up tomorrow. Getting into the plays that we made. This actually was a play that I made on Monday. I bought ExxonMobil $98 calls for this week at 128. As of now, I do believe these are down a little bit. Nothing crazy bad. I ended up holding on to these through today, even though it did not look like a very good chart on just today. If you're looking at the 5-minute chart, this isn't typically what you want to see, but I do think that oil is definitely going to continue to be a leader here. And as you can see, anytime they've had these sketchy little drop-offs, they've recovered up pretty quickly. So hopefully that does work out. There's not much time left on it though, so if that starts to look awry tomorrow, then I'll probably get rid of that, even if it's for a loss. We also had a day trade on BABA. I ended up losing money on this actually, but there were definitely places to get out with some profits. Might have been a little too aggressive with that one, but it was a relatively small play. I was just kind of going off of the China stocks gaining momentum, especially with NIO, which brings us to our first thing to watch for next week. NIO is hosting an investor event. They're going to release all sorts of new stuff, including this SUV that has been delayed for quite some time. They're also going to come out with a new battery, which I believe is a smaller, more efficient battery that's not as powerful. Don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure what it is, but they're going to explain all that stuff tomorrow, and that was getting a lot of hype today, so we'll see what comes out with them tomorrow. I did end up making a play on them. I kept it pretty safe. I created a strangle on it, which is when you buy calls and puts of the same stock at different strikes. I got the $19 calls at 80, the $18 puts at 50, and I bought the same amount of each one. So that means I spent more on the call side than the put side. So I am leaning towards them having a good day again tomorrow. The puts are pretty much just an insurance plan. I definitely didn't want to just go all in on NIO with 3 days to expiration or whatever. I think that would be a recipe for disaster. So if it does end up tanking and goes right back down 17% or whatever, then the profit from the puts should be able to pay for the calls too. If it only goes up a little bit, the play will probably lose money, not a ton. If it goes up a lot, then obviously we'll make money. I think it only needs to move a few percent for the calls to cover the premiums from the puts. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. I have not done the exact math on how much it needs to move. Typically I kind of do that, but it's all a calculated guess in anyways. So we'll see what happens. It's one of those where you're not going to lose a ton of money, but also it's a little bit difficult to make an absolute killing on it. So tomorrow we have the Federal Reserve with our good friend Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell is going to have a very rough day tomorrow. I do not think people are going to be very kind to him. It's going to be sad because I do love Jerome Powell, J Pow, JP Diddy, anything you want to call him. He's a great guy, and he catches a lot of smoke for a lot of stuff he doesn't do. And then when he does do stuff, he catches a lot of smoke for that too. So they need someone to blame. He is the Fed chair, so they're going to blame him. He's going to have to be super hawkish. If you don't know, when they describe tightening of monetary policy, dovish would be leaning towards not being that aggressive. Hawkish is what they would say when they are very, very aggressive with it. It's like bullish and bearish with stocks. So the question going into tomorrow, is Jerome Powell going to raise rates by 75 basis points now, or is he going to put that out on the table? I do not think personally that they're going to go up 75. They went up 50 last time. They said there was really no risk of going up more than 50 this time, but then again, no one thought the inflation data was going to come out higher than it was at its peak. So that will definitely change the approach that they'll have to take. They're going to have to take that into account. The people that are interviewing him will be asking lots of questions about that. They're also expected to talk about the crypto market completely imploding. Told you so. And I assume there will be a fair share of completely ridiculous questions that have absolutely nothing to do with his job. Tomorrow, I will definitely be making a play on SPY. I always do on Federal Reserve days. It's pretty much a free play because once the initial report comes out, you can kind of get a direction of where it's going to go. Once it goes that direction, you take some profits, hold some overnight. Usually, overnight, there's a continuation from whatever direction it went following the meeting and during Powell's speech. So sometimes the notes do come out, and then once Powell starts talking, it starts to flip around as well. So that's definitely something to look out for. Don't hop in on it too soon because you kind of have to wait for the market to really get the full story. Either way, yes, I'll be making a play on whatever comes out from that meeting. I think that they're going to keep it at 50 basis points and then put on the table a possibility for 75 next month. That's just my prediction, and I don't know how the market would feel about that, but I don't think they're going to jump straight up to 75. If they do, there might be a little bit of an adverse reaction. So that's about it. Pretty much everything tomorrow is going to hinge on that meeting. So up until the meeting, if you have something that's going really well and then the meeting happens and everything flips around, that's just something that happens. So I will probably try to avoid making any sketchy plays going into that time because it could easily be reversed by just a couple sentences from our boy, Jerome Powell. Once again, if you want to get the trade alerts for tomorrow and every single other day, click on the link in the description and check out that free trial. Besides that, that's all I got. Y'all have a good day.